from that conversation on the state of sports as we get ready to host a Chan. Let's now switch gears and get to talk matters health right here on Good Morning Kenya, Health Tuesday being the segment on air at the moment. And today our topic of conversation is on healthy habits for life, and we narrow it down to just try and get the simple steps for you to be able to boost your overall well-being. And to help us with this conversation is one Jane Ngatia. Jane Ngatia is a counseling psychologist, and she's also a university lecturer, and she's here to just try and give us the tips to us ensuring that we have overall well-being. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. Now, when we talk about well-being, what are we generally looking at?
Well, that's a very good question, and I believe the viewer will benefit from it. Yes, total wellness. We are talking about feeling fit. And this begins from, let me say, from the hair to the toe.
From the hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to be feeling good. I have to be able to move around, or at least do my things. I have to be able to think straight. And I have to be able to do what I want to do at any given time. So if I'm not able to do something that should be done by myself, or to think straight, or to feel generally like I'm good to go, then I'm not well. Yeah.
So it's overall.
It is overall.
From the hair, as you put it,
yes,
to the toenails.
To the toe.
Yeah.
I have to be feeling it is well.
Yeah.
If I want to use a kind of checklist, I would be able to tick, yes, from the head, I know what I want to do today. I want to know, I know what I want to say. I know where I want to be, and I will be able to do it.
Yeah.
And I can also be able to move if that requires that I move from place to place. It could be aided movement, whichever way, but I'm able to be what I want to be, and also like what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to be able to build such wellness, I am sure there are habits that one needs to have in place. What are some of these habits that we need to ensure we are ticking as well? We are checking that box.
A good question there. Allow me, for the sake of the viewer of this program, to also say that we have particular dimensions that we consider should be well balanced if I have to consider myself to be well, and totally well, because that is our interest for now.
Yes.
There is what we call the social health. And by the way, our health is our wealth.
It is.
Yes, the greatest gift we can ever give ourselves is to maintain our health and to put the extra effort that is needed for us to be completely well. Okay, we may not achieve the 100 mark, but we can be very close to that. So socially, we need to ensure that our social relations, our social life is well balanced. As in, we need to like people, we need to like ourselves, we need to be at it. So relationships, sometimes we say the people we hang out with will determine how we feel. Our feelings eventually will be part of our health. There is something we even call the physical health, and that is what most of us will concern ourselves with. Physically, absence of disease, that is also our health. But we need to remember that absence of disease does not completely define our wellness, because we also have another dimension, and that is our spirituality. Maybe many of us may not have thought about our spirituality, and I'm not prescribing to a religion or something, but do we believe that life can get better? Being optimistic as opposed to being pessimistic. We must have hope because we have many problems in this world. As long as we are encountering other people and circumstances, we need to have hope that life will be better. Look at the way we are like now in Kenya. There's a bit of unsettled feelings, thoughts, and what next, losses here and there because of the climate that is happening, socially, and that can eventually affect our health. But we need to be positive about life. We need to look forward to another better day than it was today or even yesterday. That is also part of our health. So there are many, many other dimensions, including even, the kind of food that we eat, our own nutrition. That is part of our health. We need to mind how we do it. But even making it simpler, we need to take care of our own even exercises. And being active in exercises, we don't need to be, kind of subscribed to some kinds of sports, that we pay money, that we must bring other people together. It doesn't have to be that way. Even walking up the stairs. I wish there were some stairs on this building, up to 7th floor. I would dare it. Yes, because that is my health. It is part of making my body to be active and to be almost 100% involved. So we can do stairs, we can do some walk distances that are not very far, that are not very long, as opposed to sitting. Particularly if we take a job that involves sitting most of the time, it is advisable that we put deliberate effort to walk around. Just make those few, steps, improving on blood circulation, and that is eventually part of our health.
I love that. I love that. And even, just speaking about that, what would you say are some of the most common barriers that people face in trying to ensure that their life is balanced and their life is, overall, their life is healthy?
Yes, a good direction there. Sometimes lack of awareness. Many times we think that because I'm not in pain, I am able to jump around. For those who can, maybe not for me, we are okay. But that is not all. I want to repeat this because it's important, that absence of disease does not mean that we are completely well. Because there's that aspect of the mental wellness. What about my thinking patterns? What do I occupy myself with most of the times? Am I also keeping my brain active? There is a condition we call dementia. Sometimes which can have an early onset because we are not also active in our brain, in our intellectual capacity. We have to be able to be thinking and thinking good all the time. By the way, even just reading a newspaper, watching news like the viewer who is on it right now on this program is very, very important, because our brain is put on edge, and that is part of our health. Just making sure that we are feeding ourselves with good information, the right information, we develop critical thinking, we are able to solve many problems of life. So it is important that also mentally, psychologically, we are able to keep ourselves and feed ourselves with the right information. And I love that you've said that, because we are what we consume. And when you say that, it's not just what you put inside your body in terms of nutrition, but also what you feed your mind with, forms the whole of you. And also in line with that, I would love for you to talk about self-talk and being kinder to yourself, because some of us are really hard on ourselves. I've done this mistake, or there's this particular task that I was supposed to have been able to complete during a given time, and then I'm not able to do that, then now I'm beating myself down so much. Let's talk about also working on being kinder on yourself for your overall well-being. How important is that self-healthy, positive talk? I like that. It's more about self-concept and self-esteem. I like the fact that once we like ourselves and we see ourselves as positive beings, it boosts our self-esteem. Actually, self-esteem is about the value tag that you give yourself. And I can see you have given yourself right now a very big price tag, yourself. You love yourself. I don't need even to ask you whether you like yourself, whether you love yourself.
Yeah.
It's just the way we present ourselves and the way we feel about ourselves. Telling ourselves, you talked about self-talk, yes, that's part of it. Talking to myself and telling myself, Jane Gatia, you can do it. You have the energy. You have the inbuilt, capacity to overcome this problem. And even to be able to do, I believe I am a very special and unique person. And what I believe about myself will make me treat myself the same way. So it is good that people begin to see themselves as able beings, people who can overcome challenges of life, as opposed to that oh yes syndrome, oh I can't do it, now I'm finished, I've lost my job, in that case, I've, I don't have good friends, people are avoiding me, I'm in this financial crisis. You encourage yourself and tell yourself, yes, I can do it. I can do. And once we speak to our inner being, it gives us extra energy to be able to move forward as opposed to being seated all the time. So we are able to make a step with hope, with optimism that yes, I can do it. And this is important also for Kenyans. I'm glad Kenya is watching, this program, because this crisis sometimes that we have can put people down, can actually make one get stuck and stuck for life. But the minute I tell myself, yes, this has happened, but it cannot happen forever. I mean, it cannot put me down. It cannot overcome me. And then I lift my hand like asking, is there someone who can hold my hand so I get out of this dip? I could be on the deep end, I'm not a swimmer, but there must be a way in which I can get out of that pool without drowning. So that telling oneself, yes, it's possible. It can be done. I can overcome this. And looking back and telling myself, yes, I've had equally difficult situations, but I can overcome this. That is part of mental health, and sometimes it begins with oneself. And by the way, our health and total wellness is a personal responsibility. It starts with me. And then I lift my hand where I'm defeated or I feel like a sense of defeat, and I'll be lifted up. And that's why we talk of a social being, because society may come in and lift my hand and show me where the light is. If I felt like I'm in a dark room.
And we live in this life, and in life, we can't avoid stress, like stress is inevitable. In one way or the other, you'll just have something that is messing around with you, with your mind, there's something that is disturbing you, or there's one thing or another that is just making life a bit difficult for you. You've mentioned one way of coping with such is just by working on yourself, speaking to yourself nicely, because I believe that that is also one way to do it. As you've said, you just speak yourself out of it and tell yourself, well, it might be bad right now, but things are going to get better. Always live with hope, right? Maybe what are other ways that one can be able to cope with the stress, and having in mind exactly what you said? Right now, we're living in an atmosphere that is a bit quite stressful for many people. That is very important. I would like to pick on that issue of stress first of all. Some research done by interested psychologists established that stress is all over us. I just need to step out of where I'm sitting to get stress. It's everywhere. It is all around us. But fortunately, stress is not from, inside us. It is an external kind of concept. So it is important that every time we face a challenge, for the sake of our total wellness, we manage that stress almost immediately.
How do we manage that stress? You may even physically want to get out of that environment. Environments can be very stressful at times. You avoid that environment, or you get out of it temporarily, and you tell yourself, this is what is causing me stress, in terms of identifying what is actually the stressor. So once we identify the stressor, it could even be people. Some people can be very toxic around us. Toxic relationships. Why am I sitting in it? Why am I in it? And I have a choice. I can always get out of it. I can walk out of that environment and feel better at that. I can actually develop inward positive thinking. And all that will help us. By the way, the reason why it is important to manage stress immediately, without postponing. If there is something we have to hit head on, it is stress and the stressors that come around. Because stress is considered to be a source of very many health problems, including the physical problems. Let's look at it this way. When we get stressed, in most cases, we also get angry. Because there is that sense of helplessness.
You're quite irritable.
Yes, and we get irritable, well said, agitated, and it pulls, I call them cousins. Oh, the cousins that stress has, if to a person, you know, they'll come along. And now because of that, we start getting angry, and that message is sent straight to the brain. It's a very technical and biological process. Now the brain interprets that as there is an enemy that is invading my entire body system. And what the brain does is to command the heart, just to use that language, to command the heart to pump blood harder, because more oxygen is needed in the body and more energy is needed. Now, what does that do to our hearts? Keeps the heart on high alert, because there is that perceived invading enemy. And when that happens and we don't manage that stress, the heart will go through a tear and wear process. And when that happens, it could trigger even a condition like high blood pressure to start with, and that could become chronic, you know, or what we may call, doctors will tell us, is hypertension. So I have just become hypertensive because of something that started like a stressor, and it really fixed me on my seat, and I'm not able to move. So stress is a great enemy to our total wellness and generally to our health. All the way from mental, remember we talked about from head to toe, it will affect every part of us, and we shall be very, very unhappy people, and will be incapacitated. So it is important to manage that and to find a way. Anger is very important to manage. That's part of our emotional health, because we say this a total system. And when part of the system is kind of failing, then there could be a total shutdown of our health. So anger should be managed. Like now there's quite a bit of anger. Kenyans, we don't even need to discuss more about this. We know. Many of us are angry about this. Could be economic crisis at personal level, community level, could be just the things that are happening, losses, business, and even the loss of lives because of the circumstances that may have happened, unfortunately. So we need to manage that anger. How do we do it? We need, again, to give ourselves some self-assurance that, yes, I'm not feeling good. But then talking about anger, just saying, I feel so angry, telling someone and talking about it. It comes from self-talk and it goes to the external. And I need to be talking to someone who is listening. You know, people are not listening anymore. We are busy. She's saying this or that. So we need also to be able to get someone with them where we are feeling so angry. Once that is expressed, part of the energy will be, because anger usually is that build-up of internal energy that we don't know what to do with it.
All right, and as you mentioned earlier that we are social beings, so social interaction also makes up our overall well-being. Maybe how can one go about setting healthy boundaries? Because even as we socialize and have in our day-to-day, we need to have boundaries. So how can one go about setting healthy boundaries without feeling guilty about it?
Wow, how nice. I like that. Yes, setting healthy boundaries is very important. Sometimes we get into relationships that turn out to be toxic. They are not good for us. But fortunately in life, we have a choice of our friends. We know whom to hang out with. We know whom to rely on for different information to support us, because human beings cannot live in isolation. That's how people begin to get depressed. When they lack social support, they get depressed. Naturally, we need to live all by ourselves and to live all for myself. I must be able to learn also to connect with other people. Let's look at it this way. Getting into social relationships where I'm expected to give and where I'm expected to receive from other people. So it is important for me to be able to serve others, to maintain that equilibrium of social connections and social relationships. I should be able to support others. Research has indicated, which is very interesting research. You know, we rely on it because that are done, and we can say it's factual. It's not an imagination. So it is that people who give and who share could be their time, like I'm giving on my time. Today I'm a happy woman, all through the day, and maybe the week. You have actually made my week. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Yes. So people who are able to give of what, of their time, their energy, sharing information, giving variable items, even giving what that person doesn't have, and I have it, and I can share what I have. It has been established that such people who give to the community are happier, for a longer time, and they have a low risk factor of developing depression. They increase generally their happiness, and they have longevity of life. They live longer.
Oh,
I want to live longer. I want to live to, I wish, up to 100. God granting me the opportunity, happier, thinking straight, no dementia. That's my prayer. And so I'll put all the effort to give what I can give and to share and keep healthy relationships. Just having people around me in times of need and in terms of I need their support, it helps so much. It lifts my spirit, my inner being, and that is part of my emotional health. And so I'll be building capacity, because it's an all-round. We said it's like, a kind of many units that make my total wellness. And so mentally, I'll be thinking, yes, I have people I can rely on. Emotionally, yes, I see people around me when I need them, and that makes me feel good. And just giving, stepping out of my comfort zone to support someone who needs my support, it makes me feel so good and happy for the day, as I've said. And you can see it. Yes.
For sure. You look like a happy person.
Thank you.
For sure. Now, even when we talk about mental health specifically, there's so much myth that surrounds that particular topic. Maybe what are some myths around mental health and mental well-being that you would wish people would unlearn?
Oh, yeah, so much to unlearn from there and to unhook, for that matter. Thinking that when I say I'm not feeling okay in my mind, I'm not able to remember a few things, some kind of mental confusion, anxiety that affects my mental health and all that. Some people would think I'm weak. And I've had a few people asking me, Jane, really? You were saying that you are feeling a bit confused and loaded in the mind, and like a sense of I'm not sure where to start, not wanting even to read anything. And I say, oh yes, me too, I'm human. and maybe something is disturbing me. Let's say there's a stressor still hanging on. Let's say I'm not able to solve this financial crisis or problem, whatever kind of thing it is. There's this member of the family who is not doing so well, and it becomes my concern. So some people think that is weakness, that I should walk, stand, run, probably even run seated, that kind of imagination, which is not possible. So it shouldn't be seen as a weakness. People who even develop, unfortunately, mental illnesses that require medication from our good doctors, our good psychiatrists, and all that, it should not be seen as a weakness. Rather, the person needs more support to make good progress in their even medication, and to be encouraged that this has happened to me, this is an illness has happened to you, and it could happen anywhere else. We all suffer from one kind of illness from time to time, but we are not stigmatized. I would even dare say to our Kenyan community and the international community as well, how comes when I say I have pain on the back, I'm not stigmatized? But when there is a mental issue that even requires medication, someone will look at me like, this one is not a person to be near, to be too close to. That is not good way of looking at it. It's an attitude, but probably I would also forgive anyone who would get into that because they may not be aware. And that is on why we are here, to do this sensitization. So support a person who seems stranded. And sometimes a person who could even be grieving. Grieving creates a mental state in us. And all they need is someone to support them, to be around them, to encourage them. So people who seem mentally stranded, because that's the least understood area, need to be supported. Step out, go support that person. Let's find out, what are they going through? Issues of depression. People have been depressed. That's a mood disorder that also affects our mental wellness. And kind of, we even think they are pretending. They are just putting up a show, because they want sympathy or something, which may not be true. Let's try to understand them so that they don't get deeper into that depression, which could even resort to suicidal ideations, and it can be tragic. So it is good for the community to know that wellness is what we all desire. When a person doesn't seem to be in their right state, they are not pretending. They are calling for help.
Give them
and
a listening ear, give them an audience.
Yes, let's step in, keep them going, keep each one of us going, so that we have a healthier community, we have a healthier Kenya, and international community, and the world will be a better place for all of us.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Now, sometimes there are habits we have in our day-to-day, and we know very well that they are not good habits. Probably it may be substance abuse or just a habit that you may be having, and it's not right for you, and you're working towards changing it. But why is it that at times it is so hard to, make lasting changes on particular habits that very well these ones are not good for my well-being? Is there a psychological term behind that? Is there just something that explains that very well, I need to be changing this, but then you're not making lasting changes towards that?
Wow, very good there. I believe the viewer today is benefiting a lot this morning, as usual. Yes, there is something we call making the right choices and engaging goodwill. We have to be aware that once you make the wrong step in your health matters, it could affect you, because you could get into a trap that you are not able to come out of. So we all know somehow, by instincts even, that abusing drugs is not a good thing. It will eventually affect us. So why did I want to touch in the first place? Why did I take that first drink that got me into dependence and addiction, and eventually I am caught in the trap. I'm caught in the web. I cannot release myself. And now I begin to feel helpless. And other people, of course, you come with their blame games of all manner. Why did you get there? I mean, sort yourself out. You got yourself there. You took the drink yourself. Babies don't do that because they won't reach it. So making the right choice and considering the consequences of my action. So if I did this, and that also goes for what we eat. If I ate this, and I know it is not very healthy for me, day in, day out, what will that do to my body? So it is important, and thank God we all have something I may even dare call common sense. I mean, there is that inner being of us that tells us, don't touch. That's a hot wire. I mean, there's a red tape. Don't cross that line. So there is something that helps us to know that if I continue doing this, I could get into trouble. So goodwill is very important, and strong will towards oneself and others. Do not give them what you know that it will add them in a trap or in a state of compromising their own health. And eventually, whatever we do every day, whatever we take in, our own mind, state of mind, is the first step towards our health, because we shall be minimizing chances of being in poor health overall. But if we do nothing about it, and we deliberately engage in a negative behavior, talk about even smoking, cigarettes, smoking other stuff. It all began like style, you know, I want to feel cool, or I just want to belong, you know, kind of peer pressure that puts one into that situation. Why did you get there? Didn't you want to say no? Just being able to say no, we call it assertiveness, is very important, because that first no will help me to say a chain of them to what I really do not want to get into. And that keeps me at bay. It keeps me, don't step into that water. If you're not a swimmer and you are stepping into the Indian Ocean, I mean, during the strong winds, what do we expect? We shall drown. And even if I were a swimmer, I may be overcome by the tides. So it is very important that we don't touch. Call it a red tape. As I say, don't cross the line, because once you cross, you'll be made to cross many more lines, and the mountain will be so high to climb. We don't have the energy. Yeah.
Okay. I would not want us to finish this conversation without talking about the role of, because some of us might overlook sleep because, well, we're living in times when things are so fast-paced. We want to make sure that we are earning a living here and there, so we may not be getting enough sleep. What role does sleep have in ensuring our overall well-being?
Wow, a good one. Sleep is naturally given by the Creator who created us, whatever name we want to call him, but it is given for us to be able to survive. When we sleep and sleep well, we wake up feeling like, phew, you know, the world is new. It's a real good morning, Kenya, for those who are in Kenya. It feels good because when we sleep adequately, and we are talking of, if we can do 6 hours, if we are not under so much, adults, the weight is not so much, 6 to 7 hours, 7 at most, not beyond. Sleeping 4 hours is too little. I mean, if that was our day-to-day routine, it will wear us out. Because when we sleep, we relax, the body rejuvenates itself, the worn-out cells are able to recreate themselves, our memories are consolidated and all that. And so we wake up thinking well, thinking fresh, and our bodies are re-energized. Because when we are working, when we are awake, we go through a tear and wear, you know, kind of process, because we are working, we are thinking, and all that put us on our toes. So it is good to have good sleep if we want to have good memory. And if we want to be able to remember what we learned, yes, and this is critical, or what we want to do next. If we want our bodies to remain strong, we need to be able to relax, because we are not like a machine. By the way, even machines do stop. Sometimes we drive for many kilometers, some of us, and you want to take, you know, a break. You even want to step out. The engine has to cool a little. Otherwise, our bodies are even more seriously in need of some break. We need to take a break. We cannot work around the clock, and we cannot run like, you know, the world is heading today. By the way, if it did, that's the end of my problems in this life.
Well, I didn't expect that, but yeah, I get what you mean. But just, we should ensure that we at least take time off to just relax and allow our bodies to rejuvenate themselves. As we come to a close, maybe for the viewer who's watching us right now, what are some questions that you would say are check-in questions that maybe one should be, you know, asking themselves to ensure that they stay grounded? Maybe questions they may ask daily, weekly, monthly. What are some check-in questions that you feel are important to always ask yourself? Yes,
I wish I could even ask Kenyans straight on on a camera. I'm not sure.
That's your camera. Go ahead. Go ahead. We're here.
I like speaking to Kenyans. I love Kenya. I'm a Kenyan in my blood. I mean, I love it. I love my country, and that's why I'm here, because I want to share this information. And some of the things that we can always ask ourselves as you wake up every morning, assuming you had a good sleep. Did you sleep well? Did you relax? Do you want to do some exercises in the day, walking around, doing some stairs? If you go upstairs once in a while, even in your home, have you exercised? Have you eaten right? Have you eaten that balanced diet to keep yourself healthy? Because your health is definitely your wealth. And I want to remind you, our lovely Kenyans, that your health is your personal responsibility. It begins with you. Do it right, and you live happier, and you live longer, and you'll be less stressed. Even though stress will hang over your head. Be optimistic. Are you optimistic today as you wake up? You woke up this morning and we are saying, good morning, Kenya. Are you able to say that from the bottom of your heart? So keep healthy. Let's support each other. Have you supported someone today? Reach out and see whom you can support. That will make you happier, less stressed, and you live longer. I think we all want to live longer and fight these problems of life and benefit from what life would give us. Yeah. That's my take.
We all want to live longer and healthier and happier, not just living a long life and you're not happy, right? We all want to be happier in this. Thank you so much for all the light that you've gotten to shed on this particular topic. The questions that you've posed to Kenyans are really important questions, and I feel like if we are able to work around those questions and being able to answer ourselves those questions, then we may all be able to live meaningful life, even with the stressors of life. We'll just be able to get to live a proper life and a healthier one. Maybe there's one last thing you may want to share before we call it a wrap.
Yes, again, I would speak to Kenyans. Kenyans, let's keep healthy. Let's avoid anything that you compromise our total wellness. We need each other. We need this country. We need ourselves in it. And the reason why we are living today, even to hear this morning, and I mean this program, and to watch this program, is because you have a responsibility. Let's keep together and let's learn to support one another and love our country above all.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. That was Jane Ngatia. She is a counseling psychologist and a university lecturer as well. We appreciate that you are able to grace our show this morning. And there's something that she said. She said that research shows that people who share, people who give, live a happier life. And just to let you know, today is actually National Give Something Away Day. So whatever it is that you feel you can share with somebody, how about we take advantage of this day and be able to just share that thing to the other person. For us ladies, I know our closets are usually very full, and there are clothes that you never wear, there are shoes that you never wear. Get to share it with someone, and it will make you feel even happier because you've gotten to do something for someone that you don't even need help back from them or need anything back from them. This is where we get to end Good Morning Kenya for today. Thank you so very much to each and every one of you who began with us early in the morning until this point in time. We appreciate you. My name is Vivian Dago. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.